special edition video for Z Budapest's October edition of Goddess magazine. I've got the link posted to the sidebar, so please check it out. It's a great magazine. Today I'm going to be making sweet skull bread with dipping sauce. Now the first thing that you're going to need to do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you need to take a large glass bowl and grease it. This is what we're going to use to put the dough in when it's ready to rise. And grease it very, very well. And then set that aside in someplace warm. Then take a medium glass bowl and put in 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast, a pinch of sugar, and 1/2 cup of warm water. And this is going to start activating the dry yeast, and once it foams, it's ready to use. After about 5 minutes, the yeast, sugar, and water mixture is going to be foaming like this. Then you're going to want to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons each of ginger, nutmeg, allspice, and cinnamon, 6 tablespoons of flax eggs or 2 whole eggs, 1/2 cup of soy milk, 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree, and you can use canned pumpkin, and 1/2 cup of honey. And you want to mix this very, very well. And then once this is all incorporated, which it doesn't take too long at all, once this is all incorporated, we'll add 5 to 6 cups of flour. We're going to start adding the flour 1/2 cup at a time, and we're going to get this really incorporated. And I'm just using regular unbleached self-rising flour or all-purpose flour. I know some places call it something different. And just keep stirring it. And this takes about 5 to 6 cups. Each time I've made it, it's taken a different amount. I think because of the humidity levels. I'm going to keep stirring. And it's going to start getting tough after about 2 to 3 cups, but that's okay. Keep stirring. And keep stirring until it stops sticking to the bowl like this. You really got to use your goddess power when you're mixing breads like this. And really get it all incorporated. Okay, once it starts to get too stiff and too tough to stir and it's not sticking to the bowl anymore, take your remaining flour and put it on either a board or your countertop if it's clean, and then pour out the dough because we're going to start kneading it. Okay, now, and you knead the dough by taking one end of it and just kind of folding it over and then like forcing your palms through it. Now at first it's going to be a little bit sticky, but that's okay. And just keep adding more flour until It's springy and starts to resist kneading, where you almost can't get it to incorporate itself into the bottom part that you're kneading it into. And just keep turning it and kneading it. Now, once it starts to resist kneading, such as this, I folded it over and I tried to knead it in, and it's just resisting it. That's when you know that it's ready for it to rise. So take it and put it in a ball, and then bring it over to the greased bowl that we have, and like plop it down, flip it over, and then set it in there nicely. Cover it and wait for it to double in size. Now set it someplace warm so that you can activate the yeast more, since we activated it before. Now it's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes for it to rise completely. It's been about 25 minutes and the dough has doubled in size. The next thing you need to do is punch the dough in the center and then take it out of the bowl and put it onto a floured surface. Then you want to divide the dough in half. Then with oiled fingers, take the dough and put it into a well-greased baking pan. Now, in order to shape the skull, make it into an oval shape such as this, and then oil the knife that you're going to use with the dish of oil and cut 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Then again, with oiled fingers, separate the dough until you see the bottom of the baking dish, like so. And don't be afraid to dig in there. So do this for both pans. Then cover the pans and let them rise to about 75% of double, which is going to take about another 15 to 20 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes and they've risen perfectly. Now, what you need to do is take your grease fingers again and reopen the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And the reason why you grease your fingers is so that they don't stick to the bread. Then you need to put them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and cook them for 25 minutes. It's been 25 minutes, so the bread should be finished. Take it out. And then immediately remove it from the pan. And if you grease them well enough, then they should pop right out. Then bring them over to a cooling rack. Get the other one. And then immediately use either margarine, butter, or a butter substitute and butter the entire loaf on both sides. There's the top is finished. And flip it over. And this will help keep the bread moist because it is a sweet bread. You want it to not be cake-like, but kind of pastry-like. Almost like a donut. So once that's finished, then you can let it cool, slice it up, and dip it in your dipping sauce and enjoy. I hope you have enjoyed how to make this sweet skull bread with dipping sauce. Thank you very much for watching, and Goddess bless.